Today, I am excited. I have Eddie Wasinger with WE Insure. But before we introduce Eddie, I want to congratulate all the Gator fans out there for this past weekend's game.
Go
Yes,
Gators.
good stuff. Beating Auburn, which was, everybody thought that wouldn't happen. Obviously, Gator fans out there know differently. However, this weekend, Gators are going to go into Death Valley and having to play a 6-0 LSU team. Pretty good team.
It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, Burrow is playing some really good football right now.
Definitely. It's got an
But I do believe that Gators have definitely got a great
stout defense.
arsenal of players. So we're definitely excited. That game, I think, is at 8 o'clock. It's probably going to be on something like ABC or something like that. Now, not to lose my viewers, but I'm an Oklahoma Sooner fan, and they also won this weekend.
Hey.
Right?
Jalen Hurts, right?
They didn't play anybody very well, but this weekend they are playing Texas Longhorns. So if you're a Texas Longhorn fan out there, and I know you are, this is going to be our Red River matchup. So we're definitely going to be seeing if Jalen Hurts can really come to play this weekend. So should be a great weekend of football. The reason that I'm doing this show, guys, is I really want to say thank you to all our preferred vendors out there. If you're an agent out there, you know how extremely dedicated these vendors are to us and what they do for us. I can't thank them enough. And again, like I said, I'm really thrilled that Eddie has taken time out. Eddie is an owner of WE Insure. And Eddie, if you don't mind, real quick, his information's up here, so you see it. His phone number is 407-270-0650. His email address is edwin.wasinger@weinsuregroup.com. Any questions that you might have, don't hesitate to reach out to him. Today on the show, feel free to ask any questions, and Blaine, my assistant,
Please.
He's going to let us know if there are any questions out there that we might be able to answer at the end. So, with that being said, thank you so much for being here. Can't thank you enough. Eddie is one of our preferred vendors with home insurance. Meantime, I'm going to have Eddie tell us a little bit about Eddie and how you got into this business and all of that good stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for having me today.
Absolutely.
So a little bit about myself. I'm an Orlando native. I went to high school here at University High School. Went to UCF, graduated from UCF. While I was going to UCF, I did an internship with Travelers Insurance, located over in Baldwin Park area.
Oh, okay.
Did a little bit of claims customer service for my intern position, and then went full-time. Did that for about 3 years. After that, I went to more of a sales role over in the Lake Mary area for an independent agency. Got my background, my experience on the sales side, and basically kind of led me to do what I'm doing now today. I started my agency 3 years ago. We are an independent agency, and we shop through many carriers to get you the most competitive rates possible. We do, like he said, home insurance specifically. We also do have carriers for auto insurance, term life insurance, as well as commercial lines of insurance as well. A little bit about myself personally. I'm getting married in November 9th.
Woohoo!
So
all right.
We're looking forward to that. It's going to be a great time.
Stephanie's an amazing woman, so
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. You
I
got a
think
good,
so.
yeah. But so what made you want to get into home insurance? I mean, with everything that's out there, I mean, what is you went to UCF,
Right.
you got a degree in what?
It was actually criminal justice with a business minor.
Okay.
I was actually thinking a different route when I went to school.
Okay.
But no, the internship with Travelers Insurance kind of led me the insurance route, and then I realized how much I like handling home insurance or just the new purchase process.
Right.
It really fascinated me looking at houses, checking out square footage, checking out beautiful renovations in houses.
Sure.
So that's what kind of led me to be the specific in home insurance.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of what my passion is behind the home insurance
So
market.
helping people.
Helping certain
right?
clients, yep, kind of helping them through the process,
Right.
and getting them the most competitive rate possible, as well as getting them good coverages as well. So
Awesome. Yeah. So I guess one of the things the viewers asked us out there is kind of what makes WE Insure the company to go to versus some of the competitors out there, because obviously we know there's a ton of competitors, just like in the real estate business.
Right.
What differentiates you
Right.
from another insurance company?
Correct.
Besides your extreme knowledge and expertise and charisma.
Yeah, definitely. When I was researching which avenue I wanted to go when I was purchasing franchise, it was the access to carriers. We have the largest market access out of any franchise or agency that I'm aware of.
Okay.
On top of that, customer support. We have a full team built out for customer support based in Jacksonville. So anytime 9 to 5, you can reach out to somebody at our number here and can assist you with any time if you have any questions on your policy. Other than the access to the carriers, just ease of work is super easy, and it's a smooth process as far as being able to from the point of sale to the underwriting process, and that's basically what I was saying.
And I can speak from personal, as Eddie happens to hold my homeowner's insurance, and that was the one thing that really impressed me, Eddie, is the fact that I picked up the phone, you immediately answered, and you went out and you got us the best rate. And obviously there are many companies I could have gone to, and I did shop you, right? And why wouldn't I?
You should.
And you definitely came back with everything we needed. And that being said, obviously you now have a client for life. So can I ask, so far as, when we bought our house, and this happens to a lot of real estate agents, so if you're out there, guys, ask the questions when it comes to homeowners insurance, and we'll see if we can't get to it. But the question I would ask is, we always wonder, when is the best time to have a wind mitigation, or what is that for a new homeowner that's out there looking right now to buy, and they're about to go through the home inspection process. Obviously there's certain things that make sense for that, correct?
Correct. So the wind mitigation inspection, I think, is one of the more important inspections, especially when you're looking at insurance. It's actually the only premium bearing inspection that I'm aware of for home insurance.
Okay.
So a really good time to do a home inspection or a wind mitigation inspection would be anything built prior to 2002.
Okay.
So any home built prior to 2002 that has a new roof that is 2002 and newer. However, you can get a wind mitigation inspection if your roof is not 2002 and newer, but it really comes down to the components and what holds down your attic and your trusses in your attic. So there's a couple of factors that we look at. We look at roof to deck attachments, we look at roof to wall attachments, we look at roof geometry, and then we also look at if it's FBC equivalent, which would be if it's up to code, if it's up to 2002 code. So those 5 factors really go into how good or how strong you're going to see as far as those inspection discounts go.
So some of those older homes, like built in 1940, 1950, where would those fall in needing a wind mitigation?
I would say I would highly suggest getting a wind mitigation inspection in those years. However, there is a caveat to that.
Okay.
If you have a flat pitch roof, I typically don't advise getting a wind mitigation inspection.
Okay.
The reason for that is typically there's not much attic access, and therefore they cannot give you discounts for the roof to deck attachments or roof to wall attachments. So a lot of times that inspection is about $100, or I guess talk to GoPro Home Inspections on the cost on those. But typically I can't always say that you're always going to break even on that investment. It really just comes down to what's actually in the attic and what's holding down those trusses.
Gotcha. So that brings me to the next question: is wind mitigation versus a 4-point inspection. 4-point is something that, well, let's go back. A wind mitigation will give the homeowner a discount, correct? If
Correct.
they do a wind mitigation.
Correct. And so now that number really varies on those components that I talked about before, as far as wind mitigation. And just to kind of backtrack a little bit, the reason why I don't advise anything 2002 and newer as far as wind mitigation inspection goes is because the carriers are already providing you discounts.
Gotcha.
So it would not really behoove you to pay for that inspection because it's typically not going to make any additional discounts.
Is there something to do with, obviously we had a major hurricane with Charlie, Francis, and Jean, and all those roofs were being put on, and now the new roofs have the hurricane straps.
Right.
Is that have something in bearing when it comes to the wind mitigation if the roof is newer than a certain year that you don't need a wind mit?
So 2002 and newer, because that's all the building code that the companies are going to give you the discount for.
Okay, so 2002 or newer. So jot that down, guys. If you have a roof that's 2002 or newer, you primarily don't need a wind mitigation.
However, it is important that you would let your insurance agent know, or myself, that you do have a newer roof.
Right.
A lot of companies are going to give you additional discounts because of a newer roof.
Okay, so, and for what it's worth, I know with home inspection companies, their wind mitigations are anywhere from like 25, maybe $50. So it's really good peace of mind.
Definitely.
And potentially a discount that would be more than that.
Added to that. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, awesome.
Now, and kind of going to that, I've seen inspections go for wind mitigation inspections up to discounts of $600, $700. Obviously, that's a percentage of the premium. So
Okay.
imagine the smaller premium you get, maybe less discounts would apply, but still would definitely benefit you in the
Gotcha.
scenarios.
Okay. And then we were talking about 4-point. So what is a 4-point inspection?
So a 4-point is not a premium bearing inspection like the wind mitigation inspection is. However, a 4-point inspection is more for qualification. It's basically to show the insurance company that the AC's updated, the
So that's
electrical
one.
is updated.
2,
So AC, electrical, roof is updated, and then your plumbing.
4. So that's your 4-point.
And in that, with the plumbing, they also look at age of water heater as well. Companies are actually getting a lot more strict on age of water heater, believe it or not.
Okay.
Because it is an indicative, an older water heater is more likely to, unfortunately, have a pipe issue.
All right. But water heaters tend to last quite a long time. I mean, I know my old house, I was in it 20 years. I had the original water heater.
Yeah, and that's not to say
What
that
is that
applies.
age? Or is there an age limit?
I would say on average it's 15 years.
15 years.
If it's located in the garage, a lot of companies will make an exception in excess of the 15 years. So that's definitely something to look for. It's on a situational basis, depends on carrier. But that is typically the cutoff would be 15 years. With a lot of companies, some will go up to 20.
Okay, great. Hey, this is great information, guys. And again, Edwin Wasinger, 407-270-0650. His email address is up here as well. And we'll also be putting the information down below in the link so you can look at this and contact him. Eddie, let me ask you, we have issues that you probably come across when writing home insurance policies. One of the big ones that I always hear is about dogs, breeds. The other one is multiple claims. God forbid if you're out there and you got multiple claims, but we're going to find out right now. Problems with plumbing, things of that nature.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
So there's a number of things that we would typically see, and one reason why we typically advise that 4-point inspection, and I advise it now over 30 years, is because a lot of times it will help address maybe some issues you might have in the house. So situations that he's addressing, maybe a plumbing scenario. Typically companies are very stern on polybutylene plumbing. I think Rick also had an issue with polybutylene plumbing with his new purchase.
Yep.
And the company would allow for you to replace it within 30 days.
So it's 30 days after the purchase.
That depends on the company, however.
Okay.
So not all companies are willing to work with you. Some companies will just be a straight declination. Other companies will allow the polybutylene plumbing. They will exclude water damage coverage. Or there's another option. I actually have a company who will offer at least $10,000 in water damage coverage with a polybutylene scenario. However, that might not always be the most competitive option.
So what does that mean, $10,000? Are we talking?
So it's a limited water damage coverage buyback.
So $10,000 doesn't cover a lot.
It doesn't. However, it does provide an alternative compared to just excluding water damage entirely if you don't have the funds to replace the plumbing or it's not in the contract on the new purchase.
Right.
So it may be a short-term scenario. I don't always advise it, obviously.
Sure.
However, there are options out there with the companies that we have.
So with polybutylene, there's the myth, right, of obviously copper back in the olden days and up until, I don't even know, 95 maybe. And then poly, and now we go from poly to PVC, and then PVC to PEX.
Yep.
And PEX is the best, right?
Correct. And not to get too much into the details.
No, right. We don't want to bore anybody out there.
But also there's galvanized plumbing, which is more of a, I believe, 60s and 70s.
Okay.
That was a lot of companies will not write as well. They won't consider that as much as a polybutylene scenario, but it's still, there are carriers out there that do not like galvanized plumbing as well.
Because of the pin, creates pinholes, right? Yeah. So I had a situation there with a client that they, obviously it's tough with a home inspector to find that.
Right.
But pinholes can be created.
Correct. And so the plumbing I would be looking out for, I'd be looking for copper, PEX, or PVC on a new purchase.
Okay.
To point out some other issues with writing insurance, dog breeds, unfortunately, and this is the one that kind of gets everybody, right? I'm a pit bull lover myself, but there are tons of companies out there that will not take on certain dog breeds. Mainly speaking, German Shepherd.
What is up with the German Shepherd? Tell me, that's my favorite dog.
Yep, no, they're amazing dogs, smart dogs.
Why is that an aggressive breed?
If you have one bad scenario out of 1,000 or 10,000, and a company starts to see a trend, they're going to start to hit on maybe excluding.
I'm actually going to say Chihuahuas are an aggressive breed, and I own one of them.
So the craziest scenario I've had is I got declined where we wrote a policy for a client who had a miniature pinscher. So it's a miniature pinscher. So it's like a
miniature pinscher.
Correct. So it's basically a miniature German Shepherd, and they were denied because they were a mixture of that German Shepherd breed.
Wow.
I'm sorry, a Doberman Pinscher breed. I'm sorry, not German Shepherd.
So Doberman's an aggressive animal.
Correct.
So is Rottweiler?
Rottweiler, Pit Bull, German Shepherd, Akitas, your wolf breeds. However, this doesn't apply to all companies. We do have carriers that will offer homeowners insurance. They'll just exclude liability coverage for any kind of dog bite to a third party. But at the same time, companies will offer, and it's not a surcharge.
Okay.
That's just kind of what their underwriting guidelines are. They'll say, hey, we'll accept this. We're just going to exclude any kind of liability bite to any third party if that were to ever occur. However, we do have standalone dog liability policies if you're looking to purchase that type of coverage.
Gotcha. What about somebody who has multiple claims?
Multiple claims can be a thing. It depends on what their claim history is. One of the benefits of going through my agency is you have a wide range of options. Depending on act of God, fire, water damage would really depend on if you're gonna have a problem getting insurance. Typically, your act of God claims are not going to count as much against you or will not be held against you.
Would you say act of God is like a hurricane?
Act of God would be like a hurricane, lightning, tornado, hail,
right.
Things you can't really prevent. I've seen problems in the past with fire losses that will typically follow you and not the home. But it'll also follow the home if someone else is trying to buy insurance for that house.
So I know this isn't on my question list, but it just came to me and I wanted to ask you, and I think you'll know the answer. We're seeing a lot of roofers knocking on doors, and I guess there was a hailstorm back in May of last year, or what was it, March, May, something around there.
Yeah.
If that was caused by a hailstorm and somebody had just purchased a home, if they were to file a claim based on that, is that going to increase their policy? Would they be denied? Purchase a brand new home.
Okay, so let's give you an example. If you had a hailstorm occur prior to you purchasing the house.
Okay.
Is that what we're referring to?
Yeah. So obviously the people buy the home, and then somebody knocks on their door, and all of a sudden they go up on the roof and they go, oh yeah, you've got a destroyed roof because of hailstorm.
Right.
Can they file a claim?
I would definitely not advise it. So the scenario is, and that's why I hit so much.
You would not.
I would not advise it. Now, if you do have damage, you need to file the claim to prevent any further scenarios.
Okay.
To really get the full scope of what the damage actually is.
Gotcha.
So I would definitely for that. But however, there are issues with that. And that's why I hit so much on the 4-point wind mitigation inspections. Typically, those will help address any type of hail damage issues prior to your purchase.
Gotcha.
So that will make a large financial decision for you. Moving forward, if you're not able to catch that situation prior to purchasing the home, because then now it's falls on your hands.
Gotcha.
So that would definitely be one thing I would.
So they kind of need to wait for some other act of God, as you say.
I would just refer to that as a pre-existing damage, and that would be a complicated scenario in a claims matter. However, if you do have damage, I would always advise you to file a claim.
And if the home is damaged or the roof is damaged from a hurricane, that is not through a deductible, right? That's through, maybe explain a little bit.
So you have two different deductibles in the state of Florida. We have a hurricane deductible specific to any named tropical storm or named hurricane. Always be cautious of that hurricane deductible. Typically, a lot of companies will offer 2%. I definitely would not advise
2% of what?
5% of your dwelling coverage. So that is a large hurricane deductible, and so typically I always advise if we can get you a lower deductible for a more competitive price, I would highly advise it. There are companies out there that offer a $500, $1,000, and 1% hurricane deductibles.
Wow. Okay.
For a very small difference in premium. So it's definitely very advisable to look into.
And that's something they could reach out to you and you could kind of give them better. Correct. Because somebody who has homeowners insurance right now with another company, and we're not going to name them, they could call you and you could advise them of maybe not only saving them money, but maybe some other alternatives that maybe they weren't aware of. Yeah?
Correct. And time and time again, I run into other policies that we shop. We can, not always the case, but a lot of times we can find a lower hurricane deductible and comparable coverages for a lower price.
So do they have to wait till it expires before they reach out to you, or how does that work?
Home insurance is all all pro earned. So you can go 6 months, cancel your policy, and they will refund the additional 6 months.
Okay.
Typically, if you have a lender involved, they're going to be making lump sum payments to your insurance carrier.
Through escrow.
Through escrow. So at any point in time, you can always cancel your home insurance, and it will be refunded back.
Okay. So, staying on this subject, because obviously being in Florida, we have the hurricanes, we have a lot of rain. Is it good to have carrying flood insurance? I mean, I live over here in Eastwood,
Yeah.
and my home is not in a flood zone.
Yeah.
But I live behind the woods, and I'm on a slope, so I don't feel like I'm that necessary. But people that live, around a pond or water, what does that look like so far as requiring flood insurance?
Sure. And flood insurance right now is a very interesting subject. To answer your question, though, the interesting stat is 25% of flood losses, and this is a national stat, 25% of flood losses actually occur in non-high-risk flood zones.
Wow.
So Florida is actually technically all a flood zone. We have high-risk flood zones and we have non-high-risk or preferred flood zones. So we have two markets right now that you can write flood insurance through. We have the National Flood Insurance Program, which is backed by FEMA. There are complications with that as they're always searching for alternatives as far as how they're going to handle the National Flood Insurance Program as they move forward. That's why we typically see on a 3 to 6 month basis these short-term scenarios as far as the NFIP being extended an additional 6 to 3 months. So they haven't really found a long-term solution yet for the National Flood Insurance Program. So that is an option, and then you also have an emerging private flood insurance market. A lot of companies will actually allow you to endorse flood insurance onto your homeowner's insurance for a very competitive price. There are also separate private flood insurance companies that may offer comparable coverages, if not better, through a private flood carrier. So that's definitely an emerging market, and that's definitely something to look into.
Is it costly to get flood insurance? I mean, depending on obviously the purchase of the home and things like that.
Yeah.
Is that how it's based?
So the max coverages the NFIP is going to offer is $250,000 on the dwelling and $100,000 in personal property coverage.
Okay.
That typically will run you about $480 for the year. You do have the option to write lower increments. You can do $100,000 in dwelling, $50,000 in contents, and then everywhere in between, in I think $25,000 or $50,000 increments. So there are a range of options. You can buy flood insurance for I think $200 to $300 if you look at the lower tiers of coverage.
Year?
Correct. Per year. So those are some options. Private flood insurance may be even more competitive. It just depends on the scenario and what zone you're in.
So flood insurance versus hurricane insurance, right? Because I know you offer it.
Right.
So many people don't get it until there's one brewing out in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
And we know now all of a sudden. Isn't there a timeline that you gotta have it, right?
Definitely, and unfortunately there's a 30-day hold with the National Flood Insurance Program if you want to obtain flood insurance. And then also most private flood carriers will either cap it at 10, so they'll do a 10-day hold, or some will do 30 as well, like the NFIP. So definitely, I would definitely advise even a lower tier coverage policy will definitely get you set, at least for most smaller events. So that's definitely something wise to look into. And just to kind of recap on that, if I didn't address it before, most homeowners insurance policies do not carry flood insurance coverage. How we would define flood insurance is a body of water rising into the home affecting multiple houses. This is how it's defined by the National Flood Insurance Program. That's not to be confused, however, with a water damage scenario. Water damage would be a pipe burst. Maybe hail damage to the roof and the water leaking down from the roof would be a hail damage or water damage scenario.
Gotcha.
That would be covered on your home insurance.
This is really good information, Eddie. I mean, I'm learning here, and I'm just really excited that you chose to come in today and meet with us.
Thanks for having me.
And talk to our audience. I know that we've run out of time, but I hope this has been very informative for you guys. Eddie, how do they find you? What's the number? What's the email? What's
you give me a call at 407-270-0650. If you hit prompt 2, you'll get to the sales team, which is myself or some of my sales associates. You can also email me at Edwin.Wasinger, that's WASinger @WeInsureGroup.com. Look forward to answering any questions, any concerns you might have.
Do you have a website?
We do. It's WE Insure CFL, so WEINSURECFL.com. Is where you can find me online.
Great information today. I really can't thank you enough. Is there anything else you want to say to the audience out there before we say Goodbye.
No, like I said, feel free to give me a call if you have any questions or concerns or would like to review your policy. Thank you very much for having me, Rick.
Absolutely. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching today. Obviously, if you need any real estate needs, feel free to reach out to the Brown Home Group. Our number is 321-348-8720, or you can go to brownhomegroup.com for all of your real estate needs. Next week, really excited to have our next guest. It's going to be Samson. I don't even know his last name. I know he has one, but he is an amazing contractor slash handyman, and then he also has another company that does landscaping. So if you're looking for that new lawn maintenance guy out there, I can test. He takes care of my lawn, does an amazing job, but he also has put floors in, kitchens. He's a GC contractor, as well as he has a staff of handymen. So that's next week. We've got so many great vendors coming up throughout the season that are going to be coming on this show. So please stay tuned. I can't thank enough Eddie for being here today, and for you, the audience out there watching. This is Rick Brown with Inside the Scoop with the Brown Home Group.
Do you have a Facebook, Eddie?
I do.
Yeah. What's the Facebook?
What's your Facebook?
So it's WE Insure CFL. So it's just facebook.com/WE Insure CFL.
Right. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Take care. Make it a great day.